How are you?
Hello, High Representative. It's a pity we have to do it via the screens, but that's COVID. But thanks for joining us.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Dear Helga, dear colleagues, dear ambassadors, delegates of the European Union, I am happy to be able to speak to you, even if, as Helga did, I regret that it's through another video conference. Video conference has become our new normal. And it's the first time ever that we have to organize the annual Heads of Delegation meeting online, but it's better than nothing. Of course, everybody would have been much more happy, would have preferred that we could be here in person. But let's try to use the best this opportunity. Sitting behind a screen inevitably creates a sense of distance. And this year, we have been forced to do foreign policy without much traveling. And this may seem almost a contradiction in terms, but here we are. All this is an unhappy consequences of the pandemic. Here in Brussels, we continue facing a very alarming situation. In Europe, it has become again the center of the pandemic, and around the world. You know that the last few months have been extremely challenging for all of us, both politically and also personally. So allow me to start thanking every one of you for the hard work in tough times and the sense of commitment that you have shown to the European cause. This will also be very much needed in the month ahead, because this has not been finished yet. This coming week, just 1 week, we will discuss where we are as European Union and how we can find effective answers to the multitude of challenges we are facing in front of us. And above all, how you, as the representative of the European Union, can best fly the European Union flag and express the EU's voice. How can you do better your job? At a time when, frankly, this is both more needed than ever, but also more difficult, with all the headwinds that we are facing. This opening message is not the right format to give you a detailed analysis of the state of our world or to explain my political orientations on what the European Union should do on different topics, countries and regions. We will have a chance to do this when we have a proper session on Friday. I will then share with you my impressions on the past 12 months that I have been here and what I've learned. And we will do a forward look to the year ahead. Today, in that session, I just very much want to hear from you how we can best strengthen the European Union's role and impact. In every crisis, there are also opportunities, so let's discuss these opportunities on Thursday. For now, let me make a few simple horizontal points. 3 of them. First, there is a tendency in every crisis, both at the level of individuals as well as at the groups, to turn inwards. Forget about the rest, to close the door and go back home. To turn inwards. To focus on the immediate and most urgent, and the shut out to the dangerous world. Crisis, especially when it's a worldwide crisis, makes the world dangerous in our home. the crisis problem and be solved with international cooperation. Cliché to say this a lot of times with that. In all this, you as ambassadors, you have a double role: to project the European Union's policies to the world and thereby to give a clear signal of our enduring interest in the international stage and international cooperation, but also to give feedback to the Brussels machinery on what our partners are thinking and doing. And more than ever, I need you to keep doing this precisely at a time when Brussels is very much busy with itself. Please do not be shy this week. We really need you keeping us informed about what our partners are thinking and doing. You are there not just to receive, but to send back feedback to the center. And let's hope the center will be able to use this information. We need it. Second, in the European Union, we have given ourselves a complex institutional setup, a very complex institutional setup. You know why? For historical and political reasons. And we have perfected these institutional discussions almost into a form of art. And I must say that I have never been too keen on this. And for sure, my experience as High Representative and Vice President has convinced me even more that we need to think as one EU. Apart from the Division, Commission, Council, External Action Service, we need to think and act as a single body. And that's why we invented Team Europe. As you know, Team Europe has become, and that should become still more, the official branding for our joint action on helping partners to deal with the pandemic, but also to bring together the European Union institutions, including the finance institutions and the member states. Team Europe means all of us, all the institutions plus the member states. And for me, it should become the rule every time and everywhere. It has born with the pandemics. It has to stay after the pandemics. It represents a brand, a way to approach others and for the others to understand what is Europe. It's a complex setting where we try to act all together, because all together we are much more powerful and effective. And that's also true for the delegations. I count on you to leave behind any old reflexes, to think in terms of silos. The Commission on one side, the External Action Service, the member states. Of course, everyone has their role and its competences and prerogatives, but we cannot afford to spend time on silly arguments, especially not now, in time of crisis. You know, there is not a surplus of European power in the world. There is not a surplus. So we need to act as a team. United Europe, as my friend Heiko Maas called it. We have the European Union. Now we have to act as a united Europe. We need deep and systematic cooperation. What matters is what works. And if we want to deliver, you have to work more and more on a cooperation mode. The third message: this crisis is a stress test for every country and political system. It accentuates strength and reveals weakness. every situation of stress, even in physics, produces these results, accentuates the strength and reveals weaknesses. We ought to be clear that our reputation is on the line, in Europe itself, but also around the world through the famous battle of narratives. If we are honest, we have to recognize that the European Union had a tough start. But then quickly, the system quickened and took big and bold decisions, breaking taboos. The crisis has been the effect of pushing the European integration. And it has happened in every crisis. Remember, no? The European Union will be built on the crisis. Well, this has been true once again, notably by the Next Generation EU recovery plan. But the story isn't over, and our actions in the coming week and month will determine our reputation and our internal influence. So we need to be mobilized on all fronts, and I want to ask you to do your part so that, as we often say, Europe comes of the crisis stronger. This is an appeal to all of you to do whatever you can to make it a reality. Europe is being built on the crisis, and we have to go out of this crisis stronger. I think that the world needs an engaged European Union able to act. But also Europeans need an engaged European Union able to act. The world and we, Europeans, need an European Union ready to participate in the big changes that the world will be facing. And we need to act as if our reputation is online, because it is online. And when I start talking about the battle of narrative, well, I got a lot of criticism. And not what do we see? We see that there are a real battle of narrative, everyone presenting itself as the best one, and the most capable to solve the crisis at home and to help others to solve abroad. And there, the European Union has an important role to play, and you have to participate in this battle of narrative, presenting the European Union as we pretend to be, a geopolitical actor. But as I will discuss on Friday, before being geopolitical, you have to be political. So with these introducing words, I wish you a successful and stimulating week. I hope that we are going to develop our strategic understanding, our capacity for strategic analysis, our strategic understanding of the world, and we will meet again for a proper session and discussion at the end of the week. And then we will exchange what we have been learned during these coming days. Today is just the starting point of an intense conference. Thank you very much for participating on it. It's your duty, but also a way of being together, sharing experiences, sharing thoughts and understandings as the big family that we are, as a group of men and women that have the big honor of representing the European Union in the world. And that's why this week has to be very, very much important for our future endeavor. Thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you very much, High Representative. Thanks